Tiffany Henyard, once hailed as a supermayor of Dutton, Illinois, now faces a stunning downfall, shocking both the devoted supporters and the harshest critics. Henyard's rapid descent from a local political powerhouse to a controversial figure has been both swift and dramatic, clouded by a series of allegations ranging from reckless spending to questionable leadership decisions. Once considered an unstoppable force in local politics, Henyard's reputation has crumbled under the weight of accusations. Reports reveal that funds earmarked for public services were instead redirected to personal indulgences, including extravagant parties, first-class travel, and luxurious hotel stays, while Henyard defends these expenditures as necessary for official duties. Critics argue that they highlight a more significant issue: her apparent mismanagement and disregard for the financial struggles of Dutton's low-income residents, who rely on the very services she is accused of misusing. Beyond financial misconduct, Henyard's polarizing leadership style has sparked further outrage. Accusations have surfaced that she filled her administration with unqualified loyalists, transforming her leadership into a personal fiefdom rather than a public service. Henyard's clashes with the town's board over budgetary decisions, along with her appointment of a police chief who did not meet legal requirements, have fueled further resentment. Critics describe her behavior as a display of stubbornness veering into arrogance, deepening the dysfunction in the town with basic services in disarray, streets in disrepair, and public trust in local governance an all-time low despite the turmoil. Henyard's loyal supporters continue to stand by her. They argue that her trouble is a result of a politically motivated campaign to discredit a powerful female leader. In their view, her opponents, lacking a charm and influence to compete, have launched a coordinated attack to undermine her through legal challenges and public smears. However, as more evidence emerges from ethical violations to misuse of taxpayer funds, it becomes increasingly difficult for Henyard to maintain her narrative of victim. Dutton is now deeply divided, with passionate supporters defending her and equally fervent opponents calling for her resignation. Henyard's refusal to take responsibility for her actions, coupled with her combative rhetoric, has alienated many and further intensified the town's polarized atmosphere. The fallout from her leadership has left Dutton grappling with financial power, instability, operational chaos, and a growing lack of confidence in local governance. Yet some argue that this collapse may pave the way for much-needed reforms in the town's leadership. As investigations into her administration continue and calls for her resignation grow louder, Henyard's ability to weather the storm and restore her tarnished reputation remains uncertain. Will she rebound and prove herself a resilient leader, overcoming adversity, or will her political career be forever marked by scandal and broken promises, echoing her meteoric rise to power? Henyard. Her time in office has been turbulent, and the conclusion of her political journey now seems as abrupt as her ascent. The latest political drama unfolded in Thornton Township, where Henyard, who also served as a township supervisor, spearheaded a major shift in the way nominees were selected for the 2024 election. For the first time in decades, the township opted for a caucus instead of the traditional primary election system. This move was intended to solidify Henyard's political power, but an unexpected procedural error during the caucus process led to her disqualification, severely damaging her political aspirations. The caucus was held at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium. Drew hundreds of residents, many braving the bitter cold to witness the high-stakes political event. Illinois State said Senor Napoleon Harris, who also chaired the Democrats' committee in Thornton Township, presided over proceedings. What followed was a tense, charged atmosphere, with Henyard supporters and detractors gathering to witness what many anticipated would be a pivotal moment in local politics. When the results were announced, the mood in the room shifted dramatically. Harris secured the Democratic nomination, while Henyard's disqualification triggered an outburst of applause, cheers, and even jubilant reactions from those who opposed her. The scene quickly devolved into chaos, resembling more of a political prize fight than a typical town hall meeting. Henyard, visibly stunned by the outcome, issued a fiery statement accusing the caucus process of being deliberately manipulated to prevent her from securing the nomination. She claimed that Harris and the Democratic committee had rigged the process against her. Harris remained composed and focused, defending the caucus process as fully legal and in line with procedures used in other Illinois municipalities. He emphasized that while the switch from a primary to a caucus was a break from tradition, It was not unprecedented and was entirely consistent with legal electoral procedures. Debate over the legitimacy of the caucus process sparked broader conversations about electoral fairness, the balance of power within local government, and whether the shift in procedure was an attempt to manipulate the political landscape in favor of certain individuals. Harris's victory securing the Democratic nomination represented a significant turning point in Thornton Township politics. Hen's political future now seemed uncertain, and the contentious nature of the event left many residents and political observers to speculate about its long-term impact on the township's future. Harris's triumph solidified his position as a powerful political figure in Thornton Township, but Henyard's dramatic fall has raised important questions about leadership ethics and political strategy in local governance. Her disqualification from the caucus, alongside her tarnished reputation and growing legal challenges, may ultimately mark the end of her political career, or at the very least, signal a profound shift in the township's political landscape. As the township moves forward, the aftermath of Henyard's downfall could lead to a reevaluation of how local leadership is chosen, how public resources are managed, and whether the political establishment is truly serving the needs of the community. For now, Henyard's fate hangs in the balance as investigations continue and calls for her resignation grow louder, leaving Dutton and Thuron Township at a crossroads in their quest for reform and recovery. The fierce rivalry between Tiffany Henyard and her political adversaries had only just begun. The dramatic events of the evening, combined with the fierce accusations and intense reactions from both sides, underscored the high-stakes nature of local politics in Thornton Township. This moment would not only reshape the political future of the township, but also serve as a defining point in Henyard's turbulent career. With her disqualification now a focal point of heated debate, and State Senator Napoleon Harris securing the Democratic nomination, it was clear that the clash between the two was far from over. The showdown had evolved into a broader political battle that would play out in future elections, leaving many wondering whether Henny's defeat marked the beginning of a larger conflict or the final chapter of her career. In a shocking turn of events, Henyard, surrounded by a few of her most loyal supporters, stormed out of the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium after her disqualification, exclaiming that the process had been mishandled. She accused Harris, the chair of the Thornton Township Democratic Committee, of overseeing an unfair and legally questionable procedure. Her outburst wasn't just an expression of frustration. It was a defiant declaration against what she believed to be a deliberate attempt to undermine her. The caucus vote that evening, widely considered chaotic yet decisive, ended Henyard's tenure as the Democratic candidate for Thornton Township supervisor. This public display of anger and accusation revealed the extent of division within the local political landscape, amplifies her already controversial reputation as one of Illinois' most divisive political figures. Henyard camp claimed that the caucus process had been rigged to exclude her supporters, particularly the elderly and frail, who have been unable to participate due to changes in rules at the last minute. However, Harris and the caucus organizers defended the process, stating that it was fully compliant with Illinois law, and that the decision to hold a caucus was a lawful tactic used by other townships. Despite her removal from the Democratic ballot, Henyard showed no signs of surrender. She hinted at a potential bid as an independent or even a right-leaning candidate. Such a move would likely fracture her already divided base of support, but also demonstrated that Henyard wasn't going down quietly. This defeat, however, underscored the mounting challenges she faced, not only due to her controversial leadership as Mayor Dutton and supervisor,